welcome back to This Podcast Fits Your Macros. I am so happy to be back. It's Coach Caileen over here, and we've got Coach Ryan over there. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, it's another, Thursday today. Yeah, we went on a little hiatus, guys, just for those of you that already know. You're probably like, oh, where is everybody? But, you know, shit happens. We are back, though, I think, ready to resume weekly episodes. Me and Caileen have adjusted schedules to suit so be ready for it, right? How you doing, Caileen?
Yeah. Oh, doing well. Yeah, we had a couple vacations, act of gods, all those crazy things that came up in between here and there, but we're here today.
Yes.
And we will be back weekly forever, and I know you missed us, and I missed you guys too. So yeah, doing well here, maybe going in prep soon, maybe not, we'll see, only time will tell.
Yes, yeah, definitely, it could be any day now. Could be any day, any time, which will be exciting to pod through that too, because, probably get pretty hangry and cranky along the way, and it's going to hit you where when your macros start taking a dive, those is it worth the macros? It's going to be a lot harder to pull off, so that's going to be exciting.
You know what? But sometimes they're not worth the macros, and then I'll just start to eat and be like, no, fuck this shit. I'm not going to eat the rest. This sucks.
Yeah, just do the flavor test and move on.
Yes.
Well,
but then you also have to factor in prep mouth too. Prep mouth is a real thing because what
are you talking about?
Okay, so Brad and I talk about this all the time. There are things when you haven't had really exciting sugary things for a while, and then you eat them. So right now I'm in improvement season. I can fit whatever the fuck I want in my macros right now. So I've been having cereal in my Greek yogurt and things like that. But when I get rid of that and then I introduce it again, it's cracked to my taste buds. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then Brad will have the same thing. He's like, no, this tastes like shit. So there will be a prep mouth factor in this new series. So that's what I'm talking about that.
So maybe you'll start rating everything 10. It'll all be perfect, all delicious.
There'll be an asterisk next to it indicating its prep mouth rating.
On prep, yeah. Anybody watching this right now, screenshot this podcast, put in the story, #prep mouth. And we'll repost you, okay? Yeah. So, let's just start with that then. I mean, we're talking about, is it worth the macros? You might as well talk about the goodies you've been having in this improvement as, maybe the next time we do this, you're not in improvement, so...
We'll see. Yeah, so we took a little break, but I kept up my little trying things out for you guys, and we had some good ones that you can check out on TikTok. One notable one was the Biscoff and Krispy Kreme collaboration, so I rate every single one of their 3 donuts on there, so go check that out if you haven't at If It's Worth the Macros on TikTok or whatever you kids say. But for this week, haven't even released it to TikTok yet, but I'm going to do it today, so it'll probably come out before this episode comes out. It's Valentine's Day, so I went to the store to see what kind of Valentine's goodies we can find and see if you can get something a little tasty for your honey. And I found these strawberry shake M&Ms, and you know me and my affinity for trying every new type of M&M.
Ooh.
So I was looking down the aisles, and I just generally don't like strawberry flavored things, artificial. But, that's all that the fucking aisle was full of. So I was like, fuck it, I'll try one and see. I should have bought, a whole bunch to try all of them. But, so, it's a white chocolate little M&Ms, which I'm like, okay, well, it's white chocolate. Maybe it'll be redeeming because I do like white chocolate. Serving size is 28 grams, which is about 16 pieces. I weighed it out for my little thing, and I can show you how much one serving size is if you check out the TikTok. 7 grams of fat, 19 grams of carbs, and 1 whole gram of protein. I'm going to show you because these guys are
1 whole protein.
Thick ass M&Ms. So they smell
strawberry
really
shake.
Good. Yeah, it's a strawberry shake, which is a real weird flavor. You would think let's just do strawberry, but no, don't get them. They don't taste that good. And that is my non-prep mouth review. It kind of tastes like a strawberry milkshake, but I ate 2 or 3 and I was like, no, this is even for improvement season, this is not worth my macros. So I'll probably give this to my sister again or something. She's my automatic dump for all the things I don't like.
And what does she think of it when you pass those on? Since you're basically just the macro giver.
I know, right? It's a crown to wear. I brought over the Cosmic Brownie cereal last time I watched our kid, and the kid was like, I want some of those, and so I gave him some, and he was all about them, but I don't know what she thought. I'll have to ask her.
Yeah. So wait, did you say the rating on that? You cut out for a second there. Did you say out of 10? Where are we at?
Rating. Oh gosh, I would give it like a 2 or 3. I don't know.
Ugh, so not good.
Do not buy for your honey. They will not like it.
I would say I'd be skeptical right out the gate. Anything strawberry shake or that just out the gate. That doesn't sound right. But okay, yeah, and you did a couple other ones. You guys check out the TikTok. We'll link it down here. She's gonna keep doing these. You know what? We need more user submissions, listener submissions. Okay, we need some more food flowing here. I've been trying to find weird stuff, but it's just not. I'm not very lucky. I try to find like really weird, and then Caileen won't do it anyway. So you guys suggest things, and let's see what happens because that's good. Hit us in the DM or wherever you're listening. Comment. Mm-hmm. Let us know what she should try next. All right, well, what's the topic then?
Today, we are talking about tips and tricks for tracking. So, a lot of us track our foods, but whether we actually like to or not, or maybe we don't track our foods and we should be tracking our foods, today we're going to go over all the pro tips to make it as painless as possible. Anything you want to add to that little summary there?
I think, that's pretty much the gist. You know, it's really more about a lot of people too. You know, it's January, it's the end of January. Some people may have started tracking in this new year or trying to for the 88th year in a row, you know, something like that. And it can be challenging, you know, it can be a hard habit to build, and everybody starts somewhere. So, you know, this episode should give you all some really good insight into that. And also, even if you're a seasoned macro tracker, I mean, I'm looking at the list here. This is all just good reminders and stuff that, you know, you may fall out of habit with that you want to bring back in to make your life easier, you know, because life never gets any easier, people. You got to make it easier for yourself. So
it certainly does.
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, well, cool. Well, first of all, I think you and I are both on the same page in the fact that, like, tracking is essential to hitting your goals. I know there are some people who are like, don't become slave to macros, and I say yes to a degree, but I mean, it takes a very, very long time of doing macros and seeing portion sizes, I feel like, to be confident in what you are actually intaking on a daily basis. So, you know, there's the intuitive eating movement, which, as you know, I do intuitive eat every once in a while just to take a mental break from tracking, or maybe I don't want to take my phone out and track everything. But that's because I've been doing this shit for like 6 or 7 years, maybe even longer now, and so it's like, you get pretty good at eyeballing, but I definitely would not say that, like, intuitive eating is great for the beginner looking to lose weight. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's very challenging because a lot of times when you are in the zone where you want to burn body fat or really do anything that's going to require specific caloric intake, most of the time you haven't been doing that. So you're not going to have any idea kind of what you're actually taking in versus not. And this is, you know, basic science that says we have to be at a certain range of calories to even get any type of results. So if you have no clue, you know, it's easy for people to be packing in thousands and thousands of calories and not even knowing it. You know, we've talked about on the show before how some drinks you can get, you know, like Starbucks or different foods you can eat that people don't even, you know, put in their mind as a calorie dense food. That could be stopping you from getting your goals. So, you know, it's really hard to do the intuitive stuff, and it is good for a mental break. But, like, if you're serious about your goal, I mean, why wouldn't you want to do it as fast and, you know, as beneficial, in other words, as possible, and just make sure that every day that you're putting this effort forward, it's actually doing something for you, you know? So I think that's the biggest difference, really. You know, tracking gets you a view from A to Z, where you are now versus where you want to be. Intuitive eating, you know, it's nice, it's relaxing, it's fun, it's kind of fucking lazy, and, you know, it's not going to get you there the fastest way. You can do it. Some people can do it, but it's not really the best way to go about it.
Yeah, not only that, but, like, if your goal is to lose weight, you are going to need to be into a deficit. And chances are when you're in a deficit, you're going to be hungry. So it's like, at what point do you listen to these hunger cues? Because it's like, if you just keep on listening to like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat, like, then you're not going to hit your weight loss goals. But where if you're tracking, you would have that like evening out, because there's always that, you know, time when you first get cut maybe, and you have those like 1 or 2 days of pretty good hunger, but then your body adjusts and you're good to go. Like, your intuitive eating, you might not even reach that point of being okay with, you know, that deficit that you're in. But anyway, beating a dead horse here. We are all about the tracking here at Team Flex when it works with you. So, should we hop right into it?
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, okay. So I guess we should go on to and explain tracking is using a meal tracker to record the things you're eating, or a food diary, not the food you're dying. Anyway, so a lot of people use MyFitnessPal. I feel like that's one of the most common ones. Actually, our app has an in-app meal tracker, which is pretty awesome because it's like a one-stop shop. You don't even have to download a separate meal tracker, but there's a couple other different ones, and I feel like it's all about the same thing. Each have their quirks, but the main two I'd say are MyFitnessPal and the app, or the tracker within our app, which are the two that we'll be talking about mostly today, as we have the most experience with them. And the number one foundational way that you will always hit your macros, and the best practice you should do no matter what when you're beginning, is to take some time the night before or very early the morning of and input all of your food for the day. How long does this take you, Ryan? Like maybe 3 minutes?
Yeah, I would say it takes most people, 5 to 10 max. But even for the newbies, right? The new people learn it. It's no amount of time, and it saves you a lot of time if you don't do it, right? Because the alternative thing is tracking on the go. That's like 5 to 10 minutes each time you have to track something.
Oh, yeah. And then you're playing macro Tetris at the end of the night, and it's just like, okay, I've got, 30 carbs, but no proteins or fats. Like, what am I going to eat? Ugh. So, tracking it the night before is hands down the most efficient way to nail your tracking. And how you can start to do this is think about one habit that you do every single night or first thing every single morning. So maybe it's like putting the leftovers away after dinner, or maybe in the morning it's like starting your cup of coffee. Habit stack, tracking all your day's worth of food with that habit that you're already doing, and that's going to lead to a lot more compliance rather than trying to just throw that in there on its own and trying to figure out a time. Work to habit stack that, and then boom, you're set.
Yeah, 100%. Getting ahead of the day, is a huge thing, especially because everybody's busy, right? Like, nobody's not busy. Me and Caileen work from our houses for this job. We're still busy as shit. So all you people that go to work and you do the 9 to 5 gig, and you're here, there, you got kids going here, there, you got school, you got whatever. You don't have time to be sitting there playing with the tracking on the go and being successful, because all it's going to do is frustrate the fuck out you. You're going to get frustrated, and then the last thing you want to do is track, because you say, you know what? This is killing me. This is killing my day. I'm already doing too much. I'm too busy. I'm stressed out. I ain't fucking sitting here and looking up brown rice right now in MyFitnessPal. So what you can do is, everybody has a few minutes a day, no matter what, where you can sit and you can plan in advance, get that thing out there. And I think we talked about that even on the show before, because it is such a beneficial hack. Like, that's hack 1. There's still 4 more that we got coming. But this one, like, even if you just picked this one and started with this, you're going to be probably like 85% more successful with staying consistent with your macros, period, right out the gate. So this is one where you can come out and are people supposed to do the whole day? Are they supposed to track out their entire day, Caileen? Is that what you suggest, or what are we looking at?
Well, it depends how strict you are. So when I used to work in the lab, we used to have like a lot of goodies. Like, they would buy our love with food all the time. So I would always like plan most of my day, but leave like a little bit of fun available. So maybe leave some carbs and fats. So definitely track out all my protein, because protein's going to be the hardest to hit if you're not tracking it. But then, leave some fun macros there if you want to. And that way, hey, if at the end of the night you've got those left over, you can have a fun little treat, or you can help yourself to whatever food they have in the break room and fit that in. Yeah,
exactly. What I always say is, 80%. I say try to aim to track it at least 80% of your day, because anything less than that seems to not really do much. You know, sometimes people will be like, oh, I got one meal in. That doesn't really do shit for you. You know, like one meal isn't going to help you be successful for the day. So if you can get about 80% of your day out, tracked out, ready, okay, which is easy. Because, like, you know, honestly, too, all the people, all you listening, like, think about the few things that you eat for breakfast or the few things you might eat for lunch or for dinner. A lot of people eat very similar foods all the time, right? You know, you might have like a couple different breakfasts you rotate through, a couple different lunches or dinners or whatever. Or even if you're a fucking Chef Boyardee over here trying to reinvent the wheel every day and have a new meal, I mean, you probably not, I'd be surprised if we were tracking that if that was you, but, you know, you can still get ahead of the day and make sure you have everything planned out. And then you got that room, like Caileen said, where you can throw in, you know, here's a little treat, here's a little something different, here's whatever. And also it leaves a little buffer zone for, you know, the unexpecteds, the things that happen, you know, like you're getting out of your car, it's gym, and you're like, oh, post-workout meal, boom, falls right out the car, on the ground, everywhere. Or, you know, one that comes up all the time is somebody's dog ate their meal they set out and they didn't see them coming. Or, you know, something happened and their dog ate their meal. Now they're panicked about it. But, hey, you got a buffer zone. You know, you can still be on track, still be consistent. Have you ever had a macro tragedy, Caileen? You ever had a macro incident where you were just like, oh, no?
Well, what I'll say, not like the dog eating my food, but more so like the kid force feeding me early on, you know, I don't know about, or eating the kids' leftovers because you don't want to throw them away. It's the kids that's
I've seen you talk about that on Instagram. Yeah, I've seen you say that.
So, yeah, my daughter eats, like, Nutella pancakes, like, every single day. And, like, she had this one stretch of, like, a month while I was in prep where she would have, like, one little pancake left. And it's just, like, in prep, I had to throw it away. And that was a huge mental test of strength. But I did it. But, yeah, so, but, you know, in improvement season, if I had factored it, and I still could have factored it in, but to me, it wasn't worth the macros to eat that.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, that's a super tip. If you guys had a macro tragedy, comment yours. I want to know what it is. Because I know there's another one, too, that I'll just bring up real quick, where somebody overeats. They overestimated their amount of food. You know, I hear that one all the time, and people really freak out when that one happens. I get those panic messages at like 2:30 p.m. Oh my God, I didn't realize that I accidentally ate double the rice that I meant to, and now I'm gonna. It's okay, you'll be all right. But you know, if you got a macro tragedy, drop it.
Okay, I do have a better one. You put me on the spot there. Like, I don't know. We talked about Jimmy John's and how you don't know what Jimmy John's is, but it's a pretty good sandwich place. One of the few places I will actually spend money on food for. And they have a beach club. It's turkey, avocado, cheese, and, like, I don't know, whatever else shit. Oh, they put mayo on there, but, like, I'm not used to putting mayo on things. And so, like, I remember the first time I logged one of those sandwiches because I was like, oh, it's a turkey sandwich. That can't be that bad. 30 fucking grams of fat right there. And as we talked about previously, 30 grams, that's like most of my day. So here I thought I was making a good-ass choice. And it's like, oh, nope. I have to
that
eat
will
tuna
get
for
you.
the rest of the day.
See, so that was an incident where you didn't track ahead, though, right?
Nope, no, I did not.
See, so you can avoid a macro tragedy, people, by planning your shit out ahead of time. All right, so I think that's good. You know, what do we got for number 2 here? Number 2 hack. Okay,
so just like you had mentioned, most of us who are tracking, or most of us that eat on a daily basis, eat a lot of similar stuff. The first week of tracking will be a little bit brutal, but if you are someone who who eats the same things over and over, most meal tracking apps have an option to just swipe right to add yesterday's breakfast or yesterday's lunch, or they have a feature where you can copy and paste your meal from yesterday into today. So that is a huge time-saving hack if you do end up eating the same thing over and over again. Or if you don't, if you had the same thing 2 days ago, you can go back in time 2 days ago, copy this meal to today. Or, that's another one. But so super easy time saver. Literally, if you track that, it's how long does it take to swipe? Is that swiping right? Yeah, okay. It takes like a second.
Boom.
So, boom. So much time saved compared to typing it all in again. Because I know that first week is pretty daunting, and that's what I tell all my clients. The first week will definitely be the most time consuming, but after that you are golden, and it's going to be so quick.
Yeah, very easy. You know, it's almost like, you know, that planning out that first day ahead of time can become a whole week in a sense, you know, especially if you want to simplify it, people. You know, a lot of people want the simplicity, especially in this world. Like, everything's so fucking crazy in the world now. You know, who has time for this shit? Simplify your life, get your shit in there, track it out early, and then, you know, stick to similar types of meals that entire week, you know, maybe if you really want to. And, you know, if you leave yourself that buffer zone, that 20 percentile that I talked about, that's where you can have a little bit more variety and things like that in the day. But stick to some staples because it's going to help you be more successful, right? Getting tongue-tied over here. More successful, you know, overall. Just that's so easy. And this is, you know, this is funny because I was talking to somebody on Instagram earlier who was having trouble with their nutrition. They sent me a DM. And they're like, yeah, I'm having a hard time with nutrition. I'm like, okay, well, how are you doing with it? Are you tracking all this? And they're like, yeah, I'm tracking. And this person literally says, I don't have a phone, though. And I was like, oh. What? They're like, I don't have a phone. I'm old school. I'd rather not have a phone. So I'm tracking on a pen and paper. And I'm thinking to myself, how the hell is this person DMing me right now? But turns out they were DMing me on an iPad. But either way, I was like, shit, maybe this is an alien or something talking to me, somebody trolling me right now. But turns out this woman was writing all of her stuff on, you know, a notepad and adding it up manually, which you're like, yes, it works. I did do that before. I did that when I first learned about this because, like, apps and stuff were not nearly as advanced as they are. And I know old school people used to do that. But, like, that shit takes so much time. So, like, this is an opportunity. You can't really swipe on a notepad to add it to the next day. Use technology in your favor to help you be successful with your goals. I mean, that's why literally we took all of our coaching, by the way, people. Team Flex is 100% online. It's what we do because it's the easiest, most beneficial way to really achieve your goals when you have that consistency all the time. It's the same with tracking your nutrition. Like, simplify your life. It makes everything easier. And, you know, these simple tasks that sound like we're probably making it seem over easy as we talk about it. Like, oh, it's so easy to do this, that. It really is once you understand it and you get in there and you realize, okay, if you free up space and time and you find out how to cut bullshit out of your day, your goals can take priority all the time.
Mm-hmm. And let's just say, like, I always say, too, before you tell me you don't have enough time to track, you need to screenshot me your time of use on your phone and show me how much time you're spending on social media, all right?
Ooh, dang, that's dark. That one's deep. I've never done that to somebody. Ooh.
Use it, baby.
That's good.
Use it.
I'm going to use that. That's killer. That's like stone cold.
You know, sometimes
man,
yeah. Stone cold. I know you don't imagine it coming from this face here.
No,
but, you know.
Yeah, damn, that's like some deep. That's cutting with a knife. Like,
that too.
But
like
hey,
going back
works.
to one, like I will tell some clients too that don't have time or don't have time. I'm like, yep. I see them posting on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, you know what? For you, I don't want to see a post on your Instagram until, like, you vlogged your food. Like, do not hop on Instagram for the day until you vlogged your food for the day. And then it's like, you know, that reward little thing. Like, you can't do this until... And it's all, like, self-inflicted, but I'm telling you, you will have a much better life if you do that.
Yeah, and overall, like you said, you know, you said it takes you less than 3 minutes or whatever. Most people, it's going to take 5, 10, some 15. Wake up earlier then, motherfucker. Get your ass out of bed. Go to sleep a little later.
Don't hit the fucking snooze, bitch.
Yeah, I don't even know what the snooze is. I've never even heard of that shit. I've seen everybody talking about that recently. I've never used snooze, okay? Get your ass up, get your shit going, and get up early if you have to. It's 15 minutes to be successful for your goal, people. And if you know what, if by this point you're getting annoyed with me and Caileen, you're not getting annoyed with her, but you're probably getting annoyed with Coach Ry by now. You know what? Hey, you're the fucking person that needs to do these first two. You can leave this episode now. Take a walk. Go start. I say get your ass up earlier. 15 minutes, track your shit, motherfucker. All right. Better get to number 3 before I get somebody's going to kill me.
Yeah. Dude, the snooze. The snooze is killing. My husband's a snoozer. Hack number 3. I know that might surprise you. Brad Walker is a snoozer, but hack number 3. And this one is dedicated to Brad Walker. So backstory: my husband to fitness coach Caileen, the macro queen.
Yep.
Will not track his fucking macros. He's coached by Ryan because, I think we'd get divorced if I coached him. But, so why don't you take this one, Ryan? Because this is your approach with him, right?
Yes, this was actually recently, which is funny. This made it in here. I guess you guys must have talked about this, but yeah. So Brad, he's trying to get back on his macro tracking, or for the first time in a sense, really get consistent with it. He does it on and off, throughout the time. I've coached him here and there, for a while. I mean, I guess I've coached him as long as I coached you, almost, right? Just a little less.
Like 3/4 as long.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So it's been a long time, but never been a super consistent macro tracker, which is a lot of people. A lot of people trying to get into this groove with the nutrition, it's difficult to understand. And one of the things was that I was like, okay, here's what you got to do, dude, is because we were talking about his tracking this weekend. He's been tracking. He's like, I don't like how it takes this long to do this and that, but it's because it doesn't have the premium version of MyFitnessPal, okay? And I don't even know what the free version looks like anymore, to be honest with you. Like, it's been so long. I paid for that shit, like, when I was broke. Like, when I was dead ass broke, I still paid for that. But, the thing is with that, you're not getting all the features. You're not getting the most simple approach. You're not getting everything as easy as you could if it was the upgraded version. And, part of the idea I was like, hey, you got to get this. You got to get the upgraded version then, dude. And he was like, oh, man, I don't want to pay for that. And I was like, you know what? If you do pay for it, now you're putting yourself to be the most successful because you're going to have all the tools. It's going to simplify everything for you. The word of the day is simplify, people. Simplify. Simplification. Simplificando. It's going to make it easier for you. You're going to be able to use, the scanner. I think it was, right? Is the scanner what's missing on the non-paid? Okay.
We just gut shit all the time, but the scanner was huge because if you're not familiar, you could take any food. So like this bag of M&Ms, I could scan it, and 9 times out of 10, it would pre-populate all of the nutrition. But when you don't have a scanner, you have to type in blah, 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 blah.
Which is more time. Yep. And it's also confusing, too, to do that even sometimes because when you search, there's tons of options. Like, all the libraries on food tracking apps are usually user-populated, meaning, like, somebody put in, hey, this is an M&M, like you just did. Somebody else put an M&M. Somebody sometime maybe put the wrong macro, So it can be confusing to look through the list and try to do it, but if you can scan it, it's power. And then I was like, okay, so now you can scan it, you can get it in there, and you're putting your money where your fucking mouth is, I said it in better terms than that. But literally, that's what I think it takes. I don't know what he told you, but the thing is true. And when you put your money where your mouth is with your goals, it does make a big difference, And for a lot of people, money is something that they don't frivolously want to spend or do whatever with. And, a lot of people are very budget conscious, trying to save money, trying to blah, blah, blah. But, hey, here's the funny thing, people. You'll spend money on the shit you care about any fucking time, even if it's shit that isn't good for you or is helping you get anywhere in life. You'll do that shit. So, I was like, hey, man, just get the paid version because you're going to have to pay for it. You're not going to be happy about paying for it, but it's going to enable you to, be able to do this easier, which is going to feel good. And also, it's going to make you be like, fuck, I already paid for it. Well, better use it because I don't want to waste the money I paid. And, again, what's it cost a year? It's like $79 or something, I think, is what I heard.
So
or I looked it up for him because I was like, okay, next step. And I do this for other people. Sorry, Brad, if you're listening, you think we're bashing. No, I'm not bashing you. Kayleen's probably bashing you, but I'm not bashing you, dude. But I do this to people all the time, when they have something they want to talk about, or maybe it's training. I'm trying to get them on a program. They need help, and they don't want to pay for the program, the coaching, blah, blah, blah. Break it down into what it is like per week or per day. And so I was like, okay, so $79 a year to get MyFitnessPal Premium. That's $6.40 a month. Like a fucking few months ago, that was the price of a gallon of gas, people. Get your shit together. Go get yourself the fucking upgraded version of the app to make it easier. Put your money where your mouth is, and it's going to help you be more accountable and more successful overall.
Yeah, that's like one coffee, going out to get a coffee, too.
Yeah, Starbucks. Boom. Come on now.
Yeah. So, although I am cheap as hell, and so and then if he's not using it, I'm gonna kick his ass because I'm like, damn
That's
you.
Exactly. That was the other thing. I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, now I got to tell Caileen about this. Hey, he's paying for it because I know she's gonna be like, God damn it, the budget. And then, hey, now we got double accountability. So, This kind of stuff will work for you too, though, out there, people. Like, do this, you know? That's why they have the premium version, too, I think, in some kind of sense. You know, it's not only about money. Everybody looks at things like, oh, they just want money. La, 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 la. Well, they're giving you an app and a library and everything you need to achieve your goal. That's the first thing you should consider. And then also, I do believe, you know, the reason they went from a whole free version to a paid version is for the accountability some people need. Plus, also, you know, there's tons of other features you get in there. I don't know. I don't use all the other. I mean, you can do workouts and there's all sorts of weird shit in there, people. But the point is, it's just another way to stay accountable and keep yourself accountable. You know, take the $650 you were going to spend at T-Bell and spend it on MyFitnessPal and get your shit right. Okay, that's what we're talking about.
I haven't had my yearly Taco Bell yet. I should probably put it on my system.
You probably should do that like this week if you're gonna do it.
I don't know. Maybe I'll abstain this year. Maybe I'll have a Taco Bell free year. I'm still mad at them from last year.
A whole
this
year.
Time last year. I know.
Yeah, nothing costs $1 anymore. That's for sure.
All right. So, did we beat that one pretty dead?
I mean, I kind of think I did. You know, people have tuned out by now. They left.
Oh,
Brad's like,
also,
write me a hate mail.
Brad's crying in a corner somewhere. Just kidding. No. You will never listen to this, and that's okay.
Yeah, well,
no. But one more thing. Definitely pay the year in full if you can, because it's like $20 a month if you don't pay the year in full, which is why... That's why I was like, I'm not fucking paying for this shit. But then when you break it down to the year paid in full, that's not bad at all. So, yeah, put it on a credit card, make monthly payments of $6 or something a cents if you need to. But anyway, okay, so that's the last thing I'll say about that. Hack number 4 is to
Let's go
create,
number 4.
Yeah, recipes for your common meals. So, say for breakfast you have a bowl of cereal with milk and 3 eggs scrambled with some cheese on top. If you don't want to enter each one of those swiping right, like of course we have the, you know, same as yesterday, but say it's something you eat every once in a while, you can make that whole meal like a recipe, and then you can just say, you know, eggs with cereal, blah, 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 2% milk. And then you add all the ingredients one time, and then if you have that meal again, you just, you know, type in your little whatever name you name it. You can even give it a nickname, and then boom, all of your items for that meal right there, ready to go. And it's as simple as that. So again, a little bit of time investment up front. Later down the road, when you're annoyed and bored of it, it's not going to be that much of an investment.
Yeah, totally, and everything ties together. You know, it's literally like you're gonna eat the same kind of things for the most part. If you're not, even if you're fancy and you want to make some fancy fucking recipes with like 28 different spices and all this weird shit, go for it. And you do it one time, track it in, save it. There it is. Now you never have to do it again. Okay, like, and I remember when they started that app, they did not have that, which that was a huge fucking pain in the ass back then. But now this is again, you know, another innovation, another way where this kind of technology and stuff like that can really help, you know, you get ahead just making a recipe. Instead of tracking it on a notepad or doing it old school, tracking it every single time or doing this and that. You know, those of you out there. Yeah.
The macros on the website. You never want to just trust the macros on the website, too, if they have them.
That's true. And this is, again, you know, we talked about alcohol before. This is one of those ways you could, if you have a drink you like or something like that you want to fit in every now and then, make that kind of recipe for your drink. Boom, there it is. Because, you know, you have to do the macros right. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to the rest of the fucking episodes. But the point is, at the end of the day, that's the easiest thing you can do. Everything is set up for you to be most successful. Those of you out there that think that, you know, there's no time, it's too hard, it takes too much time, it's too difficult to learn, all this bullshit, number 5 is for you. Are we moving to number 5?
Yeah, we can move on to number 5.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it or do you want me to?
It is. I'll say it and then you say it again, okay? Quit being a little bitch.
Quit being a little bitch and just do it, all right?
That's it. That's literally, you know, if you made it this far, I appreciate you listening this long. And this is the best goddamn part. Truth is, this is what it really takes sometimes, okay? If you are out here and you think that all this takes too much time, it's too hard, even the shit that you listen to, I bet there's people out here listening, those of you listening right now, they're like, God damn, this sounds like a lot. Put my food in the night before. I got to swipe and do that. I got to upgrade, pay money. I got to do it. Okay. You are the little bitch. That's the little bitch in you. Just so everybody knows, everybody has a little bitch that lives in them, right? Everybody has one, okay? There's always the little bitch voice in you. And then there's the other side, the one that gets shit done, the goal getter, the goal achiever. If your little bitch is talking too much, it's time to put that motherfucker night-night, okay? Knock that little bitch out and do the shit that you got to do. That's the end. Like at some point you have to just realize maybe if you have all the tools in the world, you have all the possible options out there, and you're still not getting your shit done, you might just be being a little bitch. You might be listening to the little bitch voice too long. And that's holding you back, because that little voice, that little inner bitch in you is not going to get you where you want to go with your results or your goals or anything else. And then you know what happens? 1 year goes by. 2 years go by. 3 years go by. 4, 5, 6, 10, you're dead. And you never got your goddamn goals, okay? So I'm ranting now. I'm going to pull myself back. I'm going to let you try to talk a little more PC on this one. But, at the end of the day, that's the point.
Every single thing you do takes a little bit of work, right? You can't, there's no way around it. So it's just a matter, if your goals are that important to you, then just fucking do it. I don't know what else to tell you from here.
That's it.
We've talked about the time commitment. It's minimal. Even the busiest person in the world is wasting time somewhere, and we can optimize there. So, I am more than happy to. You DM me, tell me what your day looks like. I will tell you where we can fit those macro trackings in, because everybody has that little tiny bit of downtime. And yeah, it might come at the cost of maybe a few minutes of Instagram scrolling, or even a few minutes of TV watching, if that's what you do. Let me tell you something right now. My goals are so big, I legit have zero time for myself. My kid goes to bed, I'm doing mobility at the end of the night. I'm not digging around. I literally have zero personal time because my goals are so big. So I don't know what to tell you. If your goals are big enough, if you want it, you will sacrifice comfort, you will sacrifice that me time, and you'll get it fucking done.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too, that I'll say, which is classic Coach Ry fashion. If you don't want to do that, keep being a little bitch then, because that's the end. That isn't it isn't. At some point, I think there comes a road for every single person to decide, do you actually really want the goal or not? And people set many different goals, many things they want to pursue in life, all this kind of shit. And, especially with fitness, it's a very interesting type of goal, because it has to be 100% motivated by, your own self in a lot of ways, right? There's no, if you were playing a team sport or something, you might have a team that's like, hey, I have a reason to want to go practice, do all this bullshit. A lot of times if it comes to you losing weight or something like that, you can easily not take it seriously. If you want to build muscle or strength or whatever, you can easily not take it seriously. It's easy to listen to the little bitch and not do the things that, will actually get you there. But, you have to make a choice. And I'll tell you, the people that always have to make a choice, the ones that don't do anything for their health, for their wellness, and then they eventually develop some permanent issue, some disease, some type of pain, some type of this or that will literally fucking make you do all these things. And if you get to that point, people, which is a little extreme for this podcast, but fuck it. If you get to that point, people, where something happened to you, do the habits you chose in life that now you have to live with the rest of your fucking life. You look at this list of shit we just gave you, you beg to do this shit for 5 hours a day to make sure that you didn't have to go through that shit. So at the end of the day, your health and wellness, it's all important. It's a lot more than just, looking a certain way or feeling a certain way. It is about the actual health and longevity of your fucking life, the people around you, and everything else. That all depend on the fact that you're going to have to get your shit together. So at some point, you either decide, are you going to be the little bitch for the rest of your life? Or are you going to be the person that actually went out and achieved the goal? And I'll tell you what, if you do go down the path just a little bit, you try to get away from that, eventually that little bitch dies. And it shrinks up, it shrivels up, and you can't find it no more. It's like a rice kernel on the floor. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. And then you realize that everything you've been doing and all the work that you went for and all the shit that we just talked about, if you actually did it, literally could transform your entire life.
Yeah. At the very core, and we're getting into mindset here, you gotta remember what is your why. Like, and you got to make that why bigger than that little bitch the entire time.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, I think we alienated everybody. Just kidding.
Hey, you know what? And for all you people that got pissed and left, if you're still here, I've been a little bitch before, so get over it,
We've all
motherfuckers.
been a little
Do
bitch.
what you want to do to become better, or don't. That's it.
Yeah, no.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see if we get if we still have an episode next week or not. But is that it? Does that wrap it up for us, or what?
I think that about wraps it up. Like, we have a lot of pent up energy from like not podcasting for like 6 weeks, so you got it full to your face today.
We'll be
of course,
back.
if you have any topics that you want to hear, drop them in the comments or DM or whatever the kids do these days. Just do that, and we will hit them. We've got some really good topics coming up. I mean, they're going to be good, so stay tuned and hit me with the is it worth your macros. Follow us everywhere, and we'll see you next week.
We will see you. All right, thanks for listening, people.
Thanks.